All right. Hi, I'm Maggie Bennett,
I'm Amanda Savino.
And I'm Sydney Morris.
and we did Chapter 9 Service. Okay, so some goals of a delivery and service system are maintain the aesthetic quality of the food, ensure microbial safety of the food, and serve food that is attractive and satisfying for the customer. Method of assembly, delivery, and service. Potential for loss of food quality is increased between the time of the production and service. Newer delivery to service methods have been created to avoid such loss. Shortest possible time from delivery to service achieves the desired goal of getting the food like fresh once it's made to where it's going to be serviced. And then we have our definition for distribution delivery is refers to the transportation of prepared foods from production to place of service. And then our service definition is involves assembling prepared menu items and distributing them to the consumer. So delivery and service. So there's two types of service. It's centralized delivery service system, which is prepared foods are portioned and assembled for individual meals at a central area in a main kitchen. The completed orders are transported and distributed to the customer. This is seen in over-the-counter restaurants, quick service restaurants. It's prevalent in today's society because of close supervision and quality over food. This service is definitely most seen in a restaurant, a banquet service, hospitals, long-term care facilities, and it requires less equipment and labor time. So it's like more wanted kind of service. Then we have the centralized delivery service system. That would be bulk quantity of hot, cold prepared foods. They're transported to serving galleys or a ward kitchen. There are several smaller serving areas close to the consumer, and then requires duplication for assembly, serving, and dishwashing equipment for services throughout the facility. And this is a lot more costly than the centralized service system. So assembly, piecing together of prepared menu items to complete an entire meal. Institutions, schools, airlines, and healthcare facilities use the tray assembly, and then restaurants use centralized production for serving of a hot meal immediately, which I just talked about in the last slide. And then there is two types of tray assembly, and that is food is put together in one central location and then sent out through different methods. And then there's the transporting food in bulk to a unit where it gets put together, plated for individual meals, which is the decentralized. Just a longer explanation of it. So factors affecting a distribution systems, types of food service systems, kind of food service organization, size and physical layout of a facility, style of service, and skill level of available personnel. Okay, so getting more into that and describing them. The type of food service system would be the type of food system used determines to some extent its own needs for delivery and service. The commissionary system is the only one requiring delivery trucks to take prepared foods to satellite serving units, and a number of delivery aspects need to be coordinated to assure the proper timing and storage of food items. The type of organization determines to a large extent the delivery and service system requirements. Those where large numbers of people must be served quickly, such as schools, colleges, industrial plants, usually provide cafeterias for meal service. Fast food restaurant serves food quickly. So that would be like over-the-counter and drive-up service. Hospitals and nursing homes use a tray service. Dining rooms, cafeterias, and vending machines. Table service would be at a restaurant using servers to carry the food from the kitchen to the customer. And then large hotels have a variety of services, including counter, coffee shops, table service, formal dining, banquet, and room service. Size and physical layout of the facility. The size and building arrangement of the facility are additional factors to consider when selecting of a delivery system. Some restaurants, for example, may be in a high-cost downtown location and therefore need to maximize their space by having multiple levels of service and equipment. Hospitals and healthcare facilities can be constructed as a high-rise buildings or low, rambling facilities with miles corridors. Different systems are required for each to ensure tray delivery to the patient within a reasonable time. And that would be going back to the keeping the food as fresh as possible. So getting it quickly made and then right to the consumer. Style of service. Each style of service requires different equipment and delivery needs. These styles include the self-service, tray service, wait service, and portable service, which we'll get more into this slide. And then last is the skill level of available personnel. So that's going to be labor needs and required skills vary for different types of delivery systems and for the equipment used in each type of system. Changing the current delivery system needs to take into account a variety of factors. Ensuring the skills needed to operate a new system and on the learning ability of the new employees are two vital components to look at as a food service manager. Training programs should be in place to ensure that employees are well trained in the use, care, and safety features of all equipment and delivery procedures.
The economic.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to restart this slide.
Okay.
So the economic factors often serve as the bottom line in the system selection. Labor and equipment required for the various delivery service systems can be calculated and evaluated in relation to budget allocation. She just talked about the delivery systems earlier. Quality standards for food microbial safety. So the management needs to establish standards for food quality and safety. This often has to do with the FDA and USDA qualification. And then research of the 4 food service systems, microbial safety, nutrient retention, and sensory qualities need to be conducted. Microbial quality of menu items is dependent on the type of food, quality of raw ingredients, batch size, type of equipment used for cooking, and position of menu items in the food service equipment. So if your bread is really far back, you need to account for that when you're putting it on bread so you can get the food out in that timely manner. Managers should be knowledgeable of the standards for endpoint and service temperatures that are mandated by many regulatory agencies, as I talked about. The time required for meal service. So considering the service type is important to make sure the food comes out to the customers or guests in the correct time. So if there's a conference and you have a buffet that's being served, all the food needs to come out at the same time so that all the guests get served and they can have their conference without being interrupted by meals coming at different times. Large hospitals have the challenge of serving their many patients within a reasonable meal period. You don't want to serve one patient at 12 and then one person doesn't get their lunch till like 5. So you have to determine their nutritional needs. So you work with the food manager or a dietitian working with the nursing staff to make sure that the patient care is not disrupted. The space requirements or space available. So this has to do with what we talked about earlier, the layout of the entire building. So I stated earlier in the facility planning process, so adequate space will be available. So in a hospital, when you have the carts with the trays on them, you need to make sure there's adequate space in the hallways to get those through to the patients, and then in the rooms there needs to be space at the end of the bed or on the side so that they can get their food in a timely manner without having to rearrange everything in the room every time they need to eat. So decentralized systems require less space in the main kitchen area, but more space throughout the facility for serving units than centralized systems do. Energy usage. A concern for energy use and its conservation plays a role in deciding on the delivery service system. The systems use a large number of electronically powered or active equipment are more costly to operate than those using passive temperature retention equipment, such as inflated trays or pellet heated plates. equipment needs. So their equipment needs require investment in capital and small equipment for service systems. Equipment for delivery and service classifications are in general fixed or built in, and then there's mobile and portable. Specific use is reheating, assembling, temperature maintenance, transporting, and serving. And the core food service systems are conventional, commissary, ready, prepared, and assembly/service. The classification for delivery service equipment, to go more into that, is the fixed or built-in equipment, which is equipment that is fixed or built-in, as the name states, and should be planned as an integral part of a structure when the facility is being built. So that's like elevators, a power-driven conveyor, subways to move food in, big equipment, things like that. Mobile equipment is moved on wheels or casters, so delivery trucks transporting food to another location. Movable carts like in the hospital, how you have the trays on the carts for on-premise transport. Portable equipment is a little bit different, so it's an item that can be carried. So a pan with a lid, a tote for installation of foods that need to maintain a certain temperature. Trays in the hospital, it's for us, you hand them a tray that's portable. Insulated trays with insulated covers. So after a food is portioned, the dish is covered with an insulation cover and transported to the customer. That's designed to create synergism, the combined effects of individual units exceeds the sum of the individual effects. Equipment for specific use. So reheating frozen or chilled foods. Food that is prepared, cooked, and frozen or chilled for later use must be reheated at serving time. Used in central serving area or serving units in a facility. Meal assembly requires that various items on the menu be collected and put in one place and may be used on a table or counter to bag or plate food. And then temperature, maintenance, and holding. So for a short period of time, when the food is held until it is served, equipment may be used, maybe a refrigerator or a heating storage unit. Like when you have your food ready at a restaurant, it's under the heating plate so that your food doesn't get cold. Equipment for specific use, so there's transportation and delivery. So mobile and portable equipment like open or closed non-insulated carts are used to transport meal on served pellet or capsule heated dishes, keep it warm, and then serving is like a cafeteria type style where sections of hot and cold foods are separated, and then there's buffet tables with temperature controls and sneeze guards, vending machines. And for dining rooms, trays or carts are used to carry the assembled food.
Styles of service. In a cafeteria, in traditional, employees are stationed behind counter to serve guests and encourage selections. Counter arrangements vary from parallel, zigzag to U-shape, hollow, square, free flow, scramble system. Separate sections of counters are given for many menu items such as sandwiches, salads, hot foods, and desserts. A food court made to order type of cafeteria with many menu offerings intending to provide fresh options. Machine vended started in Greece during 215 BC, but started in America later with penny candy and gum machines. They now are used to offer complete meals, snacks, and beverages. A buffet, a
Smorgasbord.
A what?
Smorgasbord. So
A buffet, a smorgasbord, or salad bar. What?
Keep going, you're good.
Okay. Buffet, a smorgasbord, or salad bar used to dramatically display food on large serving tables. Guests are able to help themselves to the food displayed. Drive-through pickup, popular in fast food establishments in order to have fast food or have fast customer service. Waiting service, you could do a counter, guests sit at a counter table that makes for ease and speed of service and permits one or two attendants to handle a sizable volume of trade. Table service, in American service, a hostess greets, seats, and provides guests with a menu. Waitresses place fresh table covers take the orders, bring the food, and serve the guests. Bussers set up tables, fill water, remove dirty dishes, serve bread and butter. Checkers see that the food is correct before it is served and verify correct prices. The French service, also known as fine dining, food is brought in on serving platters and placed on a small heater that is on a small portable table. The chef waiter wheels this to the guests and is handed the plates by the assistant waiter to then give to each guest in turn. Russian service, the most popular style used in all the better restaurants and motel dining rooms of the world. Food is completely prepared and portioned in the kitchen onto serving trays. Plates are given to each guest, and then the waiter serves each guest a portion. Banquet service is a present service and menu for a given number of people for a specific time of day. Some items may be on the table, such as salads, before guests are seated. Family style service, often used in restaurants or residences of various types. Quantities of the various menu items appropriate for the number of guests at the table are served in bowls or platters and placed on the dining table. Guests then serve themselves. This creates a home-like atmosphere. Portable meals. Off-premise delivery tries to meet the nutritious needs of individuals. The individual normally prepays for the food, and a service or volunteer brings the food to the person's home. This service is also done by profit organizations like a pizza place. Examples would be delivering meals to the elderly, chronically ill, or disabled individuals. On-premises delivery. Portable meals distributed to people on the premises is utilized by industrial plants distributing food by a mobilized cart equipped with heat and refrigeration sections. This also includes a portable service like a mobile canteen provided by a catering service driven to a yard so workers can go outside and purchase a meal. Room service. Room service is one of the hottest trends in hotels and now used by hospitals today in order to offer 24/7 services. This requires major renovations, including removal of centralized tray lines and major changes in staffing and communication systems. Customer service. Service is more than the physical act of getting food to the customer, wherever or whoever he or she may be. It is also the act, if not the art, of helping others. Some examples of standards for a guest relations program are anticipate needs, be observant of a customer's behaviors and environment, never say "I don't know" to a customer, challenge yourself to find the answer to the inquiry or find someone who can, be specific, say "I'll be back in 10 minutes, avoid vague promises such as "I'll be back soon." The discussion question: when you go out to eat, would you prefer family style, drive-through pickup style, or buffet style dining? And have you ever worked in any of these styles of dining?
All right. Nice job, guys.
Okay.